While reading the book of Proverbs one quiet morning, I came across a verse that hit me like a lightning bolt. It didn't just catch my eye, it grabbed my entire mindset and shook it. The verse said, "The wealth of the rich is their fortified city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor." It's Proverbs 10:15. At first, I didn't fully get it, but then it all clicked. This verse was a warning, and a lesson. It means that money is supposed to protect you, like strong walls around it. City, it's not supposed to control you or become your god. It's a tool, a shield, something to guard your future and bring peace to your life. But if you misunderstand it or use it the wrong way, it can become your downfall. It can trap you, or worse, destroy you. There are two kinds of men in this world. The first one is the man who ignores money. He acts like it doesn't matter. He says things like, "I'll start saving later," or "money isn't everything." But deep down, he's scared of facing the truth. This man gets too comfortable living with nothing. He's always broke. He's always postponing his responsibilities. He makes excuses. He wastes time. He keeps telling himself, "I'll handle it someday." But someday never comes, till disaster strikes. One day his car suddenly breaks. Down, he doesn't have the money. His wife is rushed to the hospital. In labor, he panics. His child gets sick. He's helpless. He scrambles, searching for money he doesn't have, making calls, borrowing, begging. And that's when his wife looks at him with tears in her eyes and says, "We can't live like this anymore. We need to change." That's what Proverbs meant when it said, "Poverty is the ruin of the poor." This man waited too long, and now it's almost too late. The second man is the opposite. He chases money like a wild animal. He runs from one city to another, always looking for the next big deal. Always chasing, always grinding. He earns big, but something's wrong. He never stops to rest. He never sees his wife. He barely knows his children. His health is fading. His soul is tired. He tells himself, "I'm doing this for my family." But the truth, he's lost them in the process. His money becomes his prison. A golden cage. Yes, it's fancy. Yes, it shines. But it's still a prison. He's just as trapped as the first man, because both are being controlled by money. One by having too little, the other by chasing too much. So what's the right way here? Are four powerful truths you must never forget. 1. A wise man builds wealth through assets, but never lets money become his master. 2. Money should serve you. You should never bow down to serve it. 3. Yes, you need money to protect your family. But if money is the reason you lose your family, then it's not worth it. 4. The key is balance. Build your fortress, but don't lock yourself inside it, and always hold on to this promise. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it. It's Proverbs 10:22. That means if you do it right with wisdom, it's with faith and with purpose, money will work for you, not against you. See, most people don't struggle financially because they're lazy. In fact, some of the hardest working people in the world are broke. They wake up early. They grind for hours. They sacrifice. They sweat. But they're stuck in a cycle, barely keeping up, just surviving. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've been running hard but getting nowhere. But here's the truth. Nobody told you. Effort alone isn't enough. If you're working without wisdom, it's like running on a treadmill. You move a lot, but you don't go forward. Now let me tell you about someone who didn't just work, he worked wisely. His name was King Solomon. He wasn't rich because he got lucky, didn't win some ancient lottery. No, he was intentional, strategic, smart. His wisdom became so famous that kings and queens traveled across deserts just to hear him speak. They brought gold, jewels, treasures just for a few of his words. Let me ask you, if the wisest and richest man in history left behind his secrets for success, wouldn't you want to study them like your life depended on it? Maybe. It does. Now, if this message is hitting you deep, I want you to comment below with the words, "I will be rich and wise like King Solomon." I'll be looking for your comment. And when I see it tile, give it a heart, because I know you're serious. If you want to support the channel, hit the like button and subscribe. It only takes a second, but it helps more than you know. We've got powerful stories and life-changing lessons coming your way. It's all designed to help you live smarter, stronger, and better. Now that you've liked, subscribed, commented, let's go even deeper. Number 1, wisdom comes first. Wealth comes later. Most people pray for money, but Solomon prayed for wisdom. He could have asked for anything: fame, gold, revenge, but he asked God for an understanding heart. And God was so moved by that request, he said, because you didn't ask for riches, or a long life, or for your enemies to fall. I will give you both wisdom and wealth. Let that sink in. Solomon didn't chase money. Money chased him. Why? Because money follows wisdom, not luck, not hype. Wisdom. So ask yourself right now, are you chasing wealth more than you're chasing wisdom? Number 2, when churches preach heaven, but stay silent about stewardship. Now. This is where things get real, painfully real. So many believers are spiritually overflowing, but financially drowning. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we were taught a dangerous lie, that being poor equals being pure, that struggling financially is somehow a sign of holiness. You've probably heard someone misquote 1 Timothy 6:10, saying money is the root of all evil. But that's not what it says. The verse says, the love of money is the root of all evil. There's a huge difference. Money isn't evil. It's not cursed. It's neutral, a tool that reflects the heart of whoever holds it. But if you were raised hearing that wanting wealth is sinful, that dreaming bigger is greedy, that being broke is godly, then it's no wonder you're stuck in financial chains. You start self-sabotaging without even realizing it. You feel guilty for wanting more. Like seeking financial freedom means you're betraying your faith. And yet open your Bible and what do you see? Abraham, the father of faith, overflowing with livestock and silver. Joseph, once a slave, managing the entire economy of a nation. Solomon, surrounded by gold palaces and global respect. Were these men evil, or were they living proof of divine wisdom and stewardship? Number 3, your prayers aren't broken. Your mindset is, picture this. A man is drowning, gasping, desperate. He cries out, God, help me. Then a boat approaches, but he waves it off. God will save me. Next, a helicopter appears. A rope ladder drops. Still he refuses. No thanks. God will rescue me. Later in heaven, confused and angry, he asks, God, why didn't you save me? God simply replies, I sent a boat. I sent a helicopter. What else did you want? That's exactly how many believers treat financial wisdom. We beg for breakthroughs, but ignore the answers God already sent. We dismiss the principles right in front of us, hidden in plain sight. Proverbs says, wisdom is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire compares with her. In the very next verse, long life is in her right hand, and in her left, riches and honor. That's Proverbs 3:15-16, by the way. So here's the golden question. Why chase money? When wisdom holds it in her hand? If this message is hitting your heart right now, click that like button. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and help us reach 1 million subscribers. Already subscribed? Type in the comments, I subscribed, and thank you for walking this journey with us. Number 4. Solomon's strategy wasn't hidden. It was written Solomon didn't become the wealthiest man of his time by guessing. He built systems, established trade routes, launched shipping fleets, created economic policies, and people paid just to learn from him. The Queen of Sheba didn't visit just for conversation. She came with treasure, desperate to understand how his kingdom worked. Here's what many of us miss. Solomon didn't just have wealth. He had a model. And that model wasn't locked in a vault. It's right there in Scripture. Solomon knew what most people still don't. Value attracts wealth. He didn't run after money. He created solutions so powerful that money ran after him. That's the same truth today. Want financial success? Solve a real problem? Meet a real need? Provide real value? That's what Solomon did. That's what today's millionaires and billionaires do. Now go to the comments and type, Value attracts wealth. When I see your comment, I'll know you're wise and I'll give you a heart. So what now? Ask yourself, are you chasing fast money or timeless wisdom? Are you working harder, or smarter? Have you confused poverty for holiness? Do you know what the Bible really says about wealth? Or are you clinging to what tradition whispered in your ears? This isn't about just getting rich. It's about stewardship. It's about aligning with God's design, how to manage and multiply what He gives you so that you're not just blessed, you become a blessing. Let's flip the script. Let's stop running on the treadmill of survival with no direction. Let's build wealth that's not just stacked but rooted in wisdom, rooted in divine strategy, rooted in the same principles. That made Solomon more than a king. They made him a legacy. Are you ready to stop praying for money and start praying for wisdom? Because once you have wisdom, the money will follow. And when it does, it won't just change your bank account, it'll change your life, your children's lives, and the generations after them. This isn't a fantasy, it's Solomon's story, and it can be yours too. Why so many struggle financially? A deep dive into Solomon's blueprint for wealth. Let's be brutally honest. If your financial plan stops at the end of the month, you're not building, you're just surviving. It may sound practical, even responsible, but it's not kingdom thinking. It's not what God had in mind for His children. Just imagine if Solomon had lived like that. Let me just build a little hut, buy a couple goats, stay out of trouble. Would we still talk about him thousands of years later? Of course not. We remember Solomon because he didn't just survive. He built temples, systems, partnerships. He created wealth and legacy. Number 5, think bigger, from bills to generational. Blessings. Most people aren't broke because they're lazy. They're broke because they think small. They plan for next week's groceries, not their grandchildren's future. They aim to get by, not to ask, how can I change the financial destiny of my bloodline? The Bible says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Proverbs 13:22, let that sink in. Children's children. That's 3 generations Solomon had in mind. Yet most of us are still trying to make it to next month. Picture it. You're on a road trip, but you only fill your gas tank enough to reach the next town. How far do you think you'll go? Would you call that planning or panicking with a sprinkle of denial? Solomon's life didn't just teach us how to live. It taught us how to build for generations. True wealth isn't just paying bills. It's building a solid foundation, brick by brick, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. A foundation strong enough to carry not just you, but your children and their children. Number 6. Wisdom is the only currency that never loses its value. Money vanishes, jobs are taken, stocks crash, but wisdom stands like a rock in the storm, turns disaster into direction. Solomon didn't whisper it, he shouted it in Proverbs 8:10. Choose my instruction over silver, knowledge instead of the finest gold. Let me paint a picture for you. A man wins the lottery. Overnight, he's rich beyond his dreams. He buys the big house. The shiny cars, flies first class. He lives like a king. But 5 years later, he's broke, empty, depressed. Why? Because he had wealth. Without wisdom, now picture another man. He starts small, a tiny barber shop. He learns, he grows. He trains others. He builds systems. A decade later, he owns a chain. He has passive income, a legacy. What made the difference? Wisdom came before wealth. Wisdom teaches you how to make money, how to manage it, and how to multiply it. And here's the real secret. It shows you how to use money without letting it use you. If this is hitting home, go comment right now. I want more. Just write it. I want more. I'm watching number 7.
Monetize your mind.
Solomon wasn't just sitting on a throne sipping from a golden cup. He was a living, breathing consultant. Rulers paid him fortunes just to hear his thoughts. 1 Kings 10:24 says, all the earth came to Solomon to hear his wisdom. Today, we call that content creation, coaching, consulting, teaching. So let me ask, Have you spent years learning something valuable? Then don't hide it. Don't let it die inside you. Package it, publish it, profit from it. Whether it's parenting, farming, design, or finances. If your knowledge solves a real problem, people will pay for it. Don't say, but who would? Pay me. Say instead, who needs what I know to live a better life? Number 8. Wealth is built faster through partnerships. Solomon didn't build alone. One of his smartest moves, teaming up with King Hiram of Tyre, who supplied the finest materials to build Solomon's temple. 1 Kings 5:1-12 tells us that story. That temple wasn't built on hustle. It was built on collaboration. So let me ask you, who are you building with? If your circle only talks about gossip, football, movies, or trends, but never about investing, legacy, or purpose, it's time for a new circle. Wealth flows through people as much as through effort. That idea in your heart. Partner with someone who complements your weakness. That nonprofit dream. Line with someone who's done it before. Even Jesus sent his disciples 2 by 2. You're not meant to build alone. Number 9. Charge what? Your worth. When the Queen of Sheba visited Solomon, she didn't bring just compliments. She brought treasure, gold, spices, and gems. 1 Kings 10:10. Why? Because Solomon never undervalued his wisdom. Too many of us are giving away gold at the price of gravel. We discount our gifts, our skills, our experience, just to be accepted. But here's the truth. Those who truly need your value are willing to pay for it, if you respect it first. Next time you price your product or time, ask yourself, am I thinking like Solomon? Or like someone afraid their gift isn't enough? Number 10. Scarcity mindset. The real prison. Let's get real. Some people earn good money, but never feel secure. Why? Because in their mind, it's never enough. So they save nothing. They invest nothing. Plan nothing. They believe more will never come. But Solomon didn't just gather riches. He structured them. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up food and oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Saving isn't stingy. Investing isn't greedy. Stewarding isn't controlling." These are kingdom laws. Number 11. Wealth must be tied to divine purpose. Solomon didn't beg for riches. He asked for wisdom to lead well. 1 Kings 3:9-13. And God gave him more than he asked for. Peace, prosperity, power, purpose. That's why many rich people are still empty. Their wealth serves no higher mission, no legacy, no divine reason. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek first God's kingdom. All these things will be added to you." If your wealth has no why, it will never satisfy. Write this in the comments. If your wealth has no why, it will never satisfy. When I see it, I'll know you're truly wise. And yes, I'll give you a heart. Now back to you. What will you choose? Or rise to the kind of legacy Solomon built? Will you keep chasing checks or chase wisdom, knowing that everything else will follow? Will you shrink your vision to match your paycheck? Or grow your mindset to match God's promise? Don't. Just earn, learn. Don't just chase income. Build impact. Don't just dream for yourself. Dream for your children's children. Because if God gave Solomon wisdom, favor, and legacy, and God never changes, then what's stopping you? Solomon, not God. Only your mindset. So maybe it's time to change that. It's time to finally start building like a king.